Good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today you have the Rhino, and we're drinking a beer from the number 3 rated brewery in Canada, according to Untapped, as of the day of this filming. That brewery? Half Hours on Earth. I love a lot of Half Hours on Earth beers. It's probably my favorite brewery that I've had so far this year. This is their Stop Making Sense, which is a dry hopped wheat saison, and it's 5.8% alcohol by volume. This was bottled on November 11th. Ooh, Remembrance Day. Today is December 8th. So under a month old. I'm gonna Weiss roll this because I see it's real thick in there. So I'm just gonna do a quick Weiss roll here. Blam, 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 blam. Put her down. Open her up. Bang. And we'll pour it. Ooh, stop! Stop! Who to listen to, don't you? Don't you? A little bit left in the bottle. We'll get that in there before we drink it. Very hazy. I mean, I can see my hand. It's not fully done, but it is a hazy beer. Hazy, almost bronze color. Big, bright white head. Lots of bubbles forming. A little bit of a snap, crackle, pop. Not much, just a little. Smell. That is fucking spectacular. This is one of those. This is much like, say, Folly Brew Pub's Praxis, their New Age saison, except for the fact that I like the smell of this better because this is full on like almost New Zealand hops all the way. I mean, big bright orange and mango and papaya and passion fruit. A fruity bouquet. A fruity bouquet with nothing else. It's just a full-on fruity bouquet. I was expecting, some weediness or anything else. But no, it's just a full-on fruit bouquet. The dry hops are just shining on this. I'm just trying to get all of this in before I take my first sip, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Look at that head. It has a mind of its own. It has a body of its own. It has a gravity of its own. It's above the fucking rim. It's making its own little divots and valleys. It is a good-looking head. Good-looking bright white head. I like that. I like that a lot. I can even smell the fruits through that giant head. That giant almost... No, it is. It's a full-on 4-finger head. If I had my... You know what? I have my Texas toothpick here. There we go. We're drinking a Stella today, boys. Where's the Texas toothpick? We gotta do it again. Texas toothpick. Oh, shit. You don't use the Texas toothpick by dipping it into the glass, okay? That's not how you use the Texas toothpick. Now, in the last video, I used a sock to clean the table, and I'm going to use that same sock to clean the table again, then I'm going to put it back on the chair. This sock has not been on my foot since its last cleaning. It has been a beer rag because it has a hole in it. So, it's been cleaned. You see it's kind of black down here. It's because it did a stout last. Alrighty, let's try the beer. Cheers, boys and squirrels. Medium mouthfeel. Forefront. A little bready. a little biscuity, and a lot of that just weedy, just that wheat, a lot of that wheat, a lot of that wheat dryness up at the forefront. Back end, orange, mango, passion fruit, and a nice bitterness that just kind of emanates up from that, almost like it's peel, almost like orange peel bitterness coming up after the fruity flavors fade, almost like I had a nice big blood orange, and I ate it, and I liked it so much that I kept eating it, and I got the peel too. It kind of reminds me of that. This is a really good beer. I mean, if this beer was sour, it would remind me of Nectorious, Nectorious, from Four Winds. It would remind me of that beer if this was. Well, it reminds me of that beer because I'm thinking of it. But I'm saying if this is one of his tart beers, if this was a tart saison, dry hop tart saison, wheat dry hop tart saison, because he just goes overboard with some of the things he puts in there. I would actually think of that beer more than I am now. And right now, all I'm thinking is if this was sour, it would be so much like that beer. I think this beer is kind of different in that instead of being sweet and going to bitter, it starts off neutral, picks up a little sweetness, then picks up those tropical fruit sweetnesses, and then drops back down to about the same neutral level after you add that bitterness. And the bitterness sits on the back of the palate a little bit. It sits right on the back of the tongue and the top of the throat. But it's not overpowering in any way. It's just there. It's just nice. It just makes this beer moreish, because you want to drink another sip to wash that bitterness down. That's how this beer is moreish. That bitterness isn't overpowering, but you're like, you know what? I don't want that on my palate. I want some more beer. And you drink it, and you do that roller coaster again. You go straight up, and then you come back, and you kind of sift right there at the same level. All in all, this is a good beer. All in all, this is a beer I cannot complain about. All in all, I'm excited about this beer. All in all, it's not the best beer from Half Hours on Earth, but it's a good beer. And that being said, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I would buy this again. I would seek this. Stop making sense, Kyle. Stop making sense with the beers you make. You're going to make me go broke. Bye, guys.